that, we come to the end of an emotional second appearance for Drushantha Ramsamy, at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, prosecutor with the Investigating Directorate against corruption, who now has, in a very emotional last leg of her appearance today, broken down due to what she was talking about regarding her former boss, Andrea Johnson, who she says basically tried at the commission to throw a junior under the bus in the explanations that she gave regarding IDAC's thinking and processes on issues related to the investigation against crime intelligence officials, including General Lushaba, also General Dumisani Khumalo, two separate matters. One of them, as we've been discussing at length, is the one that has to do with Dineo Mokwele's employment at crime intelligence. In the Lushaba matter, there is an allegation that there was a use of state resources and abuse to cover up a robbery after Lushaba had apparently spent some time with a sex worker and was robbed allegedly by a syndicate that operates in that space. But the allegation is that after his laptop and work cell phone were taken, among other things, that there were crime intelligence resources used to try and cover that up. Ramsamy speaking at length about those issues, but ultimately telling the commission in the last, let's say, 5 minutes or so, that she is speaking from emotion now, questioning the leadership of Advocate Andrea Johnson, her former boss, who once again she's accused of throwing a junior under the bus. There is Ramsamy now going to leave the commission. For now, we don't know when she's going to come back, but it's clear that there may even be, according to the evidence leaders, the need for a third statement from her. Just to remind you of something else that she was talking about earlier, Ramsamy claimed that Andrea Johnson had instructed investigators not to tell the now suspended police commissioner, Fanny Masemola, about this crime intelligence investigation. And she alleges that the thinking was basically to trap Masemola in a situation where he would basically lie in his accounting to Parliament. She also has told the commission about how Advocate Johnson had given investigators a direct line to the Crime Intelligence General Feroz Khan regarding some of these crime intelligence records and investigations. Now, the Khan link is very important because remember, if you were watching last week, Advocate Andrea Johnson was basically found lying in terms of her closeness with General Khan. She had basically tried to frame it as a simply professional relationship, and that the most personal it had been is when she and her husband went to Khan's 50th birthday. But when messages from WhatsApp were revealed, it emerged that she and General Khan were so close, they often chatted about having dinner together. She says that never happened, but words like, "Hey, gorgeous," were used in their greeting, and ultimately that relationship being described by the Madlanga Commission's evidence leaders as very deep and very close. We're going to bring in SABC News reporter Canny Maphanga, who I believe is standing by for us. So, Canny, if you are able to hear me, sum up for us what Drushantha Ramsamy has been dealing with in the last half hour. The issue with Khumalo, Kat Matlala's device as well. What exactly happened?
Well, absolutely. She was just completing that evidence on the Section 28(1) authorization. That is the piece of evidence that had, I guess, made her a bit emotional in terms of the manner in which she felt that Advocate Andrea Johnson threw her under the bus. Because effectively what happened is that particular authorization, what she is alleging is that this misled the probe because that was a complete fabrication, according to the witness. But what's even more disturbing is that if you listen to the tail end of her evidence, that particular authorization was used to get a valid search and seizure warrant, which was sent to Mr. Tate Khumalo, I think the rank is colonel, of the PKTT, and of course they wanted access to the devices of Vusimuzi Kat Matlala. So you're looking at the kind of alleged sinister conduct on the part of allegedly Mr. Bellichin under her name in a particular fabrication of a document that really couldn't be attributed to her or couldn't have been done at the time that it was purported to be done. So this is part of the kind of flaws in IDAC and its operational methods, that the manner in which they wanted to get these high-ranking generals, they went at it at all costs, which even included allegedly throwing junior prosecutors such as Ms. Ramsamy under the bus, which is why you saw her get so emotional recollecting the events evidence of the authorization into the Mokwele matter, and how that particular document, which was put in her name, which she says is a complete fabrication, was then used to get other information in relation to the Medicare 24 fraud case. So very disturbing evidence from Ramsamy. However, she's far from done in terms of her testimony. She's going to have to return and finish off the IDAC stream. We are expecting a new witness tomorrow, but we're not sure if that witness is going to be delving into issues of IDAC or if it's going to be a new theme that is introduced. But in the main, the second statement of Ms. Ramsamy has introduced more details surrounding project diversion and how the consistent theme that emerges from this particular project, which clearly was allegedly spearheaded by former IDAC head Advocate Andrea Johnson, is that it was targeted towards those high-ranking generals, that is the Crime Intelligence Boss, Lieutenant General Dumsani Khumalo, and then, of course, Top Cop General Fani Masemola, to the extent that there was also allegedly a plot to hide the crime intelligence investigations or not inform General Fani Masemola of that fact, so that when he appeared before the portfolio committee in Parliament on police, he would be left to lie, and that if they couldn't get him on the other charges, then they would be left at least with perjury, where they could get him on that. So it shows you the considered effort, let's put it that way, to get these particular generals in that box, or accused box, as Ramsamy puts it. I'm sure this evidence is far from over, because these are fresh allegations that Advocate Andrea Johnson has to answer to, and Ms. Ramsamy herself is not yet complete on the kind of conduct that had engulfed IDAC in terms of its project diversion, which was directly a project linked towards the investigations into crime intelligence. The hearings continue tomorrow at 9:30 a.m.